Okay, this video is going to give you some hints to help you solve 69 and 73. So just to have you try it on your own, some hints to help you. The cosine of 2x needs to be broken into a single x. So make sure you take some time to do that. Break it into a single x by using one of your formulas. And then my hint for the top is to change things to sines and cosines and simplify it out. Magically, that will turn it into what this is equal to using the formula. Remember, there's 3 formulas for cosine of 2x, so maybe you wait on that and work with the right-hand side and simplify that up. But change things to sines and cosines and you should be on your way. I'll show you the solution later in the video, but try that on your own first. Same thing with 73. Changing these out of their double angle formulas, leaving the denominators alone, change out the top, and simplify up the left-hand side. The left-hand side is pretty complicated and the right-hand side is very simple, so make sure you clean up the left and it will eventually turn into secant. Couple of other things. This one had remember this was a graph. This first on 69, this is the graph of cosine 2x that was given. And that's how you finish this identity, and same thing with this one. Secant of x was the graph that you saw in the book. So that's how you know what identity to verify. So pay attention and keep watching if you want to see more of a solution to 69 and if you've tried it and still don't know how to do it. Okay, so here's 69. We're going to start by taking the cotangents and tangents and changing them to sines and cosines. Then we get cosine x, sine of x, minus sine of x, cosine of x, all over the same thing but being added. I need to simplify top and bottom by getting common denominators, so I'm going to change these out and get sines and cosines on top and bottom. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to the top. Try this on your own and then check back for the solution. Okay, so I've jumped ahead here and I multiplied out all of my fractions so that I can see what I will have. The numerator and the denominator, I'm going to now change that out and change it to multiplying by the denominator. So I'm going to keep my numerator, cosine squared minus sine squared.
Pasha, Abdi, please come to the main office.
Over cosine sine. But I'm going to change the denominator to multiplying by the reciprocal. But I noticed something that I can simplify real quick. I don't like all that. I can change that to a 1 by Pythagorean identity. So I'm going to flip that fraction, make it a 1 for the new denominator, and cosine x sine x. So I'm changing this fraction to multiplying by the reciprocal. I also noticed that I have common terms, top and bottom. I can cancel. So I'm left with something very simple. Cosine squared x minus sine squared x. Okay, so I've cleaned up a lot with the right-hand side. I'm going to look back to my left-hand side to see where to go from here. But it looks like, if I remember right, this is a formula on my sheet that relates the double angle of cosine to one of the formulas. So remember, cosine 2x had 3 formulas. This is why it was helpful to wait until the end to figure out which formula to use. So I just cleaned up the right and it turned into the left-hand side. Okay, so now we're looking at 73. We're going to do something very similar to 73. We're going to start with cleaning up the left and see if it'll turn into the right. So I'm going to take sine of 2x and replace it with the double angle formula, keeping the denominator the same. The next one I'm going to do the same thing. I have to think about which formula to use. I think I'm going to just pick one that has the 1 in it, so 1 minus 2 cosine squared of x. Oh, sorry, it's 2 sine. The one with cosine. So it's 2 cosine squared of x minus 1. So looking at this left-hand side, I see simplifying I can do, and I'm left with 2 cosine of x. And the second term, I'm not seeing much that I can do, except for the fact that I could maybe break the fractions apart. Remember, these both are being subtracted, so I'll need to distribute that as well. So I'm going to subtract 2 cosine squared of x over cosine of x. And since there's a minus 1, it's going to be minus a negative 1. The first minus was here, and the second minus is from the problem. So let's see where that leads me. We have, I can change this to adding a positive. Looks like this simplifies. I can cancel a cosine. And I'm seeing a little more simplified here. I can do this math, and this will make a 0. Because I have 2 cosine of x minus 2 cosine of x plus 1 over cosine of x. So notice that this goes away, and I'm left with secant, which was my goal.